Welcome to Unafraid Living, the podcast that helps you fear less and live more. I'm Kim. I'm here to ask the questions you're probably thinking.
And I'm Coach Suzette, a certified brain health professional and life coach. I'm passionate about helping you quiet fear, build confidence, and live the life you truly want. Hey friends, Suzette here, your brain health professional. If fear or anxiety has been ruining your life lately, our Unafraid course was built for you. The Unafraid course helps you retrain your brain to move out of fear and into resilience, one small shift at a time with proven, practical, and simple tools. Affordable options let you work at your own pace or join me in our private community, all for less than most therapy sessions. No more excuses. Be your own advocate and sign up for the course at unafraidcourse.com to start rewiring your brain today.
Welcome back to the Virtue Effect on the Brain series. Virtues don't just make us good people, they make our brains healthier and maybe help our lives to be a little bit more peaceful.
Right, they do. And generosity is one of those virtues, but it's not just about money. Generosity is really living open-handedly with an open heart and open mind to giving what's needed.
We are recording in the holidays time, so generosity seems to be a theme right now.
Oh, yes.
And what I'm learning is it's from the inside out, giving of ourself, of our time, of our attention, things like that. What is generosity really?
Intentional giving is generosity, right? But to give in a healthy way, we're giving from a place of a happy heart, right? We're giving with joy. So it could be time, it could be energy, it could be resources, but we're giving for someone else's good and giving with nothing expected in return.
For me, I've always thought generosity equals giving money. So this is kind of new to me. Mm-hmm. I'm eager to learn what you have to say about this.
So about the time or the love or the opportunity or the resources that don't equate to money. Yeah, I hear you because we do generally think of it as money. And like I said, it's the season to talk about it,
that's
right?
True.
Because that's the expectation. But it's also the season to think about that. Maybe you're in a place where you're not thriving financially. So this expectation to give brings on anxiety. Well, that's not good. So what do you have to give? I think this is a really good thing to think about because we can give our time. Like for instance, if you know someone and love them and want to give them a gift, but you don't have any money, then maybe one of their love languages is acts of service. So maybe you put a collage together for them of some of their most treasured photos. Or maybe you take them on an outing, a picnic that costs next to nothing. You don't have to always think money. You can think about other things like time. And often these are actually more meaningful kinds of gifts.
That's true. They always say it's the thought that counts, right?
Absolutely.
So doing something special that's not just money.
Right. And I don't think that we have to say that because we want to give something, because we have the resources to do so, means that there's no thought behind it. Because I don't want to negate one and make it more important than the other. Because what we have is what we have. So we want to share that thing, whether it is. And maybe it's just the gift of encouragement. Sometimes that's what people need. Yeah. So I like affirmation. I'm not shy about telling people. I used to be an affirmation junkie. I think I heard my daughter-in-law say that one time. And I thought, yeah, I identify with that. So knowing someone helps you be able to give a better gift.
What about when you want to give, but you don't know where to start or who to give to?
Oh, I love that question. You need to first of all decide, what is it that I have to give? Are you wanting to spend time to nurture a child? Or are you wanting to give a gift to a child or I'm saying child, it doesn't have to be a child. It could be a homeless person. It could be, is that where you're coming from?
Well, yeah, just thinking about generosity extending to more than just your family and friends?
I love that question. Yeah, I think so. So seriously, the first place to start is, what do I have to give? And again, even if we're thinking outside our family and friends, very often it is not money. So I love it when I hear people volunteering at the Boys and Girls Club, or, nurturing babies in a hospital or in ICU, or that kind of thing, where that matters. And not everyone has time. But if you have time, then that's what you should. I don't want to should on you, but that's probably where you're going to be the happiest giving, because you're giving from your abundance. When we give out of enough instead of scarcity, then we are not putting our brain in a bad place. We're putting it in a good place, because that thought alone changes the chemistry in our brain. It quiets our amygdala. It activates the trust network. So it enhances relationships, and it makes us, again, get a hit of dopamine, because we're not expecting something in return. If we're going to work at the Boys and Girls Club, or if you're going to hold babies in the NICU or things like that, you're not expecting something in return. You're simply giving from your heart. We can do the same thing with money, but I think very often it feels harder to do. So when we think outside of our friends and family, finding a cause that you identify with you really think would be helpful, and maybe at one point in your life you needed that. That's a great place to give financially.
So let's go to the flip side, and what happens when you're not generous mentally and even emotionally?
Well, your brain registers stinginess as stress.
Oh.
Yeah. Well, that totally makes sense, right? Because if you think about giving something when you don't want to give it, but there's this expectation, and often there isn't an expectation, but we think there's an expectation. So that's what causes the stress. And self-protective thinking keeps our brain in survival mode. So we don't have enough. And so that is stressful too, right? When we think that we're needing to give something, or even wanting to give something, but we don't have enough, you don't want to go into bankruptcy because you want to give. Although my parents did it. So it seems like the right thing to do at the moment, but it's not the right thing to do, because we can't have this false faith that we're going to be able to be provided for if we're giving away things that we don't have. You can't go into debt for the benefit of someone else. That just doesn't work. And we become guarded and tense and disconnected. So, and some resentment builds too, right? So, and in the end, what it does is it hurts the person that we're giving to, because clearly it's not working out, and usually anxiety accompanies that,
which we're trying to combat.
Absolutely.
So generosity, it's good for others, but it's good for us too?
Absolutely. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Never really thought about it that way.
It's very true, because of what it does for us. Those dopamine hits, we feel happier. Volunteering is an act of generosity, and people who volunteer have just way higher scores on the happiness chart. So generosity, it does create connections, and those connections are vital for brain health. The research shows that consistent generosity lessens depression. So small things often is another reason that it's good for our brain.
This is starting to make sense now.
Good.
Speaking of things that are good for our brain, we didn't do our brain check yet. So how's your brain doing?
It's doing pretty good. I'm excited about the things that are happening within the next 2 or 3 weeks. My family's going to be all around, and we're just going to get to hang out and play for a while.
That sounds amazing.
How about you, Kim?
It's doing pretty good too. It's like I said, we're recording during the holidays. It's one of my favorite times of year, of course, other than the fall. But again, family time is really important and fun. And like you said, doing great.
Yeah. So I will say I am probably a little bit tired. It was Cyber Monday yesterday.
Well, that'll make anybody tired.
Right. I stayed up a little too late shopping. But I did a little bit of self-talk this morning and it really helped. So yes, I might feel a little bit tired, but I'm energetic because I'm so thrilled that I got some things off my list. And that's how that is a brain tip right there, is when we can look at the bright side instead of at the negative side, we are enhancing our brain health. We're changing the neural connections. It could be negative. I'm so tired today. I can't get through the day. I need a nap. And yeah, I could be thinking those things and those would be true. But when I focus on those things, it drives me down. And I start to feel deprived of sleep and maybe even a little depressed because my needs aren't being met. However, if I flip the switch and look at the bright side, I know that sounds so happy-go-lucky. And yes, I've been called Mrs. Rogers.
But it works, right?
Oh, well, yes, it doesn't just work because Mrs. Rogers says so. It's proven scientifically when you focus on the flip side, the good side, the positives that you have gained, then we do start to change the neural connections and the wiring of our brain. So it's easier to look on the bright side.
Looking on the bright side, how can we become more generous? Especially like right now when things are just so busy.
Right. Busyness is hard because for generosity, because we're thinking about the things we have to buy. We're thinking about the time we have to spend. It's going to deplete us. All of those things. So it is hard, but maybe downscaling a little bit. Maybe thinking that I don't have to do something less big, and see what kind of impact that makes. So start where you are, start small, and listen. Maybe just things like listening to someone. People don't have someone to listen to. That's one of the reasons that therapy is such a big thing, is because friends don't listen like they used to.
Yeah.
Right? We don't know how to anymore, but we do. We just have to do it. And that's hard. So listen without interrupting and offer encouragement when it's needed. Maybe even share something that you've learned, because that's a piece of you, a piece of your new knowledge. So sharing something, paying attention, responding with kindness instead of judgment. Those are all small things that you can do that are generous.
In listening to all of these things, it just sounds to me that generosity is looking outward.
Yeah.
It's not looking inward. I do know that when I'm being more generous, it does help me get out of my own head and concentrate on things outward instead of inward. Like you were saying, I'm too tired. I don't want to do this. I don't have the time. You end up flipping the switch and looking on the bright side and seeing what else can I do.
Yes. So we're shifting the focus from me to we. So that shift releases all those good hormones, right? The oxytocin and the dopamine. Yes. And we feel more grounded and we start to feel safe.
What is one simple step in order to move towards generosity this week?
Micro generosity.
Ooh.
Look for one small opportunity every day. And sometimes it helps if you look for that same opportunity in the same place. So maybe it's the same person at work. It could be someone at home, or it could be someone that you see regularly. Like maybe you stop by the market on the way home. I say the market like I'm living in Europe because I've just been in Europe. But that's what, maybe it's wherever you go every day, the coffee stand. Maybe that's more American.
That's right.
So a kind word, a sincere compliment, or an encouraging text or word, just having a real presence. And it doesn't have to be for a long time. If you're at a coffee stand and asking someone how their day is, and then if they're just giving you the flippant answer of, oh, fine, then just say, is it really fine? Just that little bit more care. So tiny acts reshape the brain and can bring joy to another person. Micro
generosity. I like that. Little things, small things that can make a big difference. But what did you say? Little things often?
Small things often. That's John Gottman.
Okay.
Yes.
We'll change it to micro things often.
Micro generosity equals small things that make a big difference.
What is one thing that our listeners need to hear?
I don't think generosity can be wasted because every act of giving is recorded by your brain. It strengthens all your neural circuits and it strengthens your purpose in life. It strengthens our peace. It helps us feel steady. And sincere generosity creates healing. I think the last thing I'd say to everyone is that you're capable of this. You have enough in some department of your life. It may not be money, but you have enough in some department of your life. So that's where you could start. Go practice some micro generosity this week and watch what happens inside your own heart. And you'll see what happens in your brain.
Thank you again for joining us. We hope you're walking away with something that helps you feel a little calmer, a little more confident, and a lot more free.
And if you're ready to go beyond just listening and start living unafraid, come join me in the Unafraid course. You'll find all the details at unafraidcourse.com.
And follow us wherever you listen to podcasts. And we're on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, YouTube. And be sure to check all the show notes for any links.
Your brain is listening, so fear less, keep calm, live more, and listen on.